I'm turning my favorite wing flavors into barbecue ribs on my offset smoker. Buffalo, lemon pepper, and garlic parmesan. This is Ribstop. This one is the best one. So for this cook, I am using a Costco 3-pack of pork spare ribs, which is perfect for this cook because, of course, I have 3 different flavors that I want to do, and this is a 3-pack, but on top of that, these ribs have very minimal trimming that I have to do. So I'm just cutting off any of the hanging meat and also scoring the membrane on the back of the ribs. So I absolutely love buffalo wings, and I actually had the pleasure of going to Buffalo, New York a few years ago. And while I was there, I made sure that I had the full wing tour. So I tried out Anchor Bar, I tried Elmo's, and I also tried Duff's. And I think I tried 1 or 2 more, but I just can't remember the name of them. But of all the places that I went to, hands down the best wing had to be at Duff's. So if you guys are ever in Buffalo, New York, make sure you take advantage of where you are and try every wing place you can find, especially Duff's. But outside of Buffalo, New York, if you asked me which do I like better, Buffalo Wild Wings or Wingstop, definitely I'm going Wingstop. So before we get into each of the individual seasonings for these racks of ribs, for all 3, I'm gonna be doing coarse pepper and salt. And this is just to help with the crust on these ribs once they're done. And with that done, for the first rack, I'm gonna prep the buffalo ribs. So for the buffalo rib, I forgot to mention that before I put on the salt and pepper, I actually used some Louisiana hot sauce as a binder. And the main reason why I did that is that originally I wanted to use cayenne pepper. And basically hot sauce is just cayenne pepper and vinegar, so I think hot sauce is a great substitute. With that said, the only rub that I'm going to use outside of the salt and pepper for this rack is some ranch seasoning. So I'm aware that this is controversial, but for me, when I eat wings, I usually eat it with ranch. I'm not a big blue cheese guy, but I can already see you blue cheese purists in the comments saying something, so leave me alone and let me eat the way I want to eat. I will say that I did watch Jerby Barbecue use ranch seasoning when he was cooking ribs one time. I don't remember which video it was specifically, but I do remember that the color on the ribs did not look that good on his rack, so I'm hoping that the cayenne pepper also helps with the color. I forgot where I read this too, but I remember reading a comment that milk powder actually gives barbecue a really good bark, so I guess we'll find out. Very cool. Okay, let's go ahead and move on to the lemon pepper rib. So for this lemon pepper rib, I'm gonna be using this Kinder's lemon pepper seasoning. So I picked this stuff up at Costco, but you can also buy it on Amazon for about the same price. So I'll go ahead and link it in the description if you guys wanna buy some of this stuff. I usually buy McCormick's lemon pepper seasoning, and I will say that this Kinder's seasoning has a much better lemon smell and taste to the seasoning. All right, and finally, the garlic parmesan rib. So after the salt and pepper, all I'm gonna add is some garlic powder. So no need to panic here. There is gonna be a lot more steps for this rib, but for the time being, I am just doing garlic powder. All right. Okay, so let's go ahead and get these ribs on the smoker. So I'm using my 250-gallon offset, but if you're following along at home, you can use whatever smoker you have available. And also, if you have a surefire way to make ribs inside of your oven, you can also do that too. Honestly, it really doesn't matter. But anyways, this is gonna be a very simple cook because I'm going unwrapped for all 3 racks of these ribs for the entire cook. The last time I smoked ribs, chicken, and briskets on my 250, I went unwrapped with the ribs and they turned out fantastic. So I'm gonna do it again today. Plus, it's the 4th of July today, so the less filming and work I have to do, the faster I'll be able to spend the rest of the day with my family. So in terms of temperature, I am cooking these ribs between 300 to 325 degrees Fahrenheit. And this is way hotter than I normally go with ribs, but again, I'm trying to get done as fast as humanly possible. And also, once the ribs are done, I'm gonna toss them in sauce just like I would do chicken wings. So even if the ribs get a little crunchy and even dry, I am going to absolutely slather these ribs in sauce. So this recipe is nearly impossible to ruin. Okay, so about 3 hours later and the ribs are ready to pull. So I am wrapping these up in foil to rest. However, for the garlic parmesan rack, I'm going to give it a coat of Parmesan black truffle seasoning. And I also got the seasoning from Costco as well, so if you guys want to try it, I'll have an Amazon link in the description so you can check it out. And this seasoning has a pretty funky flavor, so I'm gonna go really light with the coating. And since the ribs are straight off of the grill, they're still plenty hot, so I think that the seasoning is gonna set really nicely while it rests. And while the ribs are resting, I'm gonna prep the sauces, starting with the buffalo sauce. I'm just melting down a few tablespoons of butter with some Frank's red hot sauce and some pepper. Depending on how spicy you like it, the more butter you add, the milder the spice will be, and the less butter, the spicier it is. So keep that in mind if you're following along at home. Next, the lemon pepper. So I melted down a good amount of butter and then added in some lemon pepper seasoning, some garlic powder, lemon juice, and some coarse grind pepper. And honestly, I'm just freestyling here, so I don't have exact measurements for what I'm adding in, but just taste test it as you go along to make sure that you're hitting that balance between savory and sour. And finally, the garlic parmesan. So I've seen different places do garlic parmesan either wet or dry, but me personally, I like the dry version better, so that's what I'm gonna be doing today. So I'm just melting down butter again and adding in minced garlic. Once the garlic is light brown, the sauce is ready. And don't worry, I did not forget about the Parmesan. That's gonna come in later. So normally I brush on the sauce on the ribs, but I am not doing that today. Instead, I'm doing this wing style, so I'm going to cut these up and then toss them in each of their respective sauces. So I'm gonna go ahead and open these up, cut them, sauce them, and we can see how they turned out. Whew, the buffalo rib. Buffalo ribs. The lemon peppers. Lemon pepper. Finally, the garlic parmesan. I think I like the color on this one the best, hands down. Yeah, definitely like the bark on that one the best. Still juicy too, even though I went really hot. Man. With this garlic butter, I'm also gonna add in some Parmesan cheese. Now, if I had it, I would definitely prefer to have grated Parmesan cheese on this, but I just have the powdered stuff, so that's what I'm gonna use. Garlic Parmesan. I am so excited to try these ribs. Just from the smell alone, I think this might be the greatest thing I have ever created. But anyways, enough stalling. I'm gonna start with the lemon pepper rib. That's good. Let me try it with some ranch. Wow. Lemon pepper rib, man, it had like almost like a freshness to it. That was really good. And ribs with ranch, like that's crazy how good that is. Let's go buffalo next. So definitely didn't like the buffalo rib as much as the lemon pepper rib. The problem with it is that the hot sauce completely masks every other flavor. So basically it just tastes like pork and hot sauce. No, I didn't taste the smoke. I didn't taste any of like the ranch seasoning that I put on it, but still a decent rib. All right, grand finale, garlic parmesan rib. Wow, this one is the best one. This makes the lemon pepper one taste just okay. Like if you try any of these ribs, try the garlic parmesan one. This is like mind-blowingly good. I'm not even gonna use ranch on this one. I gotta get another one of these garlic parmesan ribs. It's better than a chicken wing. I'm dead serious. Clearly, out of the three, I think the garlic parmesan rib wins the competition hands down. But I would say definitely give them all a try. Guys, this is a super easy recipe, and it is just as easy as it looked to execute, as long as you don't make the most common barbecue mistake that almost everyone makes. So if you want to know what that is, make sure to watch the video on your screen so that you don't ruin your ribs.